Hello, and welcome to Five at the Apollo, a twisted narrative actual play in the world of Blades in the Dark. I'm Kristian, and I'll be helping guide our four ne'er-do-wells through the streets of Duskfall. We have a full house today, so I'd like to introduce you to our regular players. And a little bit different tonight, I'd like you to introduce yourselves and your character, please. So, Sarah and Grimlyn.
Hi everyone. As Christian said, I'm Sarah. I'm Yig on Discord. This evening, I'm going to be playing Grimlyn, who is a female character with long dark hair tied in a very simple plait down her back. She wears sort of fairly simple clothes, like a shirt and a very long skirt, but a very tight waistcoat. That's all her clothes are a bit grubby, and she often has a little straw boater that's definitely seen better days.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you very much. Next, we move to Kyle and Vixen.
Greetings and salutations, one and all, and I'm probably developing a catchphrase. Um, Tonight I'll be playing Vixen. Vixen stands about 5'8", female, blue eyes with dirty blonde hair, is currently tucked behind a flat cap, wearing a rather worn but fairly looked after waistcoat.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Next, we move to Rachel and the rather angelic Jellybean.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'm going to be once again playing Jellybean, who is a little girl, maybe around 6 or 7, and she always looks very sweet, as well as very posh. She clearly comes from money. She wears velvet sort of dress, very lacy. Hair is blonde with ringlets in and little bows and things like that. But she nevertheless likes to go out with the crew and get involved in getting her hands a bit more dirty.
Very good. Thank you. And finally, last but by no means least, Andy and Barkin Larkin.
Hi there, I'm Barkin Larkin, and tonight I'll be playing Andy. Andy from Twisted Narrative here, and tonight it's an outtake. It's a blooper. People love those. Andy from Twisted Narrative here. I am once again playing Barkin Larkin. Really good fun character. He's somewhat of an occultist, somewhat of a tinker, and he believes that he is some kind of were Jack Russell as well. He, as is most of the populace, grimy and grubby, wearing a long coat, sort of big scarf, sort of tucked in, sort of tricorn hat that has seen much better days, and is generally very, very filthy in many different meanings of that word.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. So, we have our cast: spirits, vampires, hulls. Oh my. We start tonight's chapter in media res, as last time, after securing some precious charms, 4 of them, for one Silas Scratcher, it was revealed that Mr. Scratcher's client was none other than Auntie Helen herself. The charm that alerts the bearer to the presence of vampires is currently going haywire. Mr. Scratcher has allowed all the use of his back room for a private meeting between yourselves and Auntie Helen. She sits in front of you at the table, veil over her face, but unmistakably it's her. Hello, Poppets. Well, I'm sure you all have questions. I'm happy to answer any of them.
Weren't you a ghost?
Well, what I am is not massively important right now. Just know that if the spirit wardens find me, well, they ain't going to be too pleased. I might end up, well, being dealt with.
Well, we don't like the spirit wardens.
No, I'm not a big fan myself. God, Poppets, you all look, well, troubled.
You said we could ask questions, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
We got any food?
Oh, Barkin always thinking about your stomach at a time like this.
You never know when you're going to eat.
Well, no, I never know what I'm going to eat either. But look, I don't have any food now because, well, I don't need it in the same way you do anymore, Poppet.
Right, okay, well, I think that's me done.
Are
Anybody
you
else?
moving back in?
No, the old place is not suitable anymore. And that kind of leads me into my next request of you all, really. Because, well, I think the Spirit Wardens might be taking interest in my place, but I need somewhere where maybe, just maybe, I can live the way I want to live. Quietly, unassuming, without them on my back. There are places like that. And, well, Mr. Scratcher here has been working to help. That little charm you've got there, one of the ones you've got there is, well, something I'll be very happy to take off your hands and make sure that the Spirit Wardens and others don't get anything like it. Because, well, you'll probably understand why when you know what it does.
Right,
Did we know what it does? All of us?
Yes, you do now.
detects them, I think.
Yeah, it's currently going absolutely mad.
What exactly does it detect? I can't.
Vampires, darling. Vampires.
Are you saying you're a vampire?
Well, Poppet, it's rude to pry, isn't it?
But only rich people can be vampires.
Oh, Poppet, we've had these discussions about rich and poor, and when it comes to the end, don't matter what you are, rich or poor, you can't take it with you unless you find some way of taking it with you.
I'm pretty sure it's a class thing.
Well, let's just agree to disagree then, shall we, Poppet?
Maybe even if you get lots of money, I mean, you still wouldn't be accepted into the families, but I guess maybe being a vampire would help.
Oh, Poppet. Oh, Poppet.
I mean,
Look,
I do like you, Auntie Helen. I'd happily try and get this exception sorted out. But...
Well, that would be very good. See, I've got someone doing a little bit of reconnaissance work for me right now. And once he's found out what he needs to find out, well, I've got a job for you. A sort of job where the pay's not going to be great, but the payoff may be fantastic. I mean, you're a gang now, my poppets, a proper gang. And what you need as a proper gang is turf. And I'm going to help you get some turf, just a little bit of turf, that maybe you let your old Auntie Helen stay in the basement or wherever, because it'd be nice and safe away from the Spirit Wardens. What do you say?
Yeah, once we've got some turf, we can scent it.
Oh, Barkin.
Well, mark it as our own,
Yes, I never did get that smell off the seats.
Are we going to have to spray you again?
Well,
That's what Mother always does when our little Letty is being naughty.
I'll let you go and have a few days off. I'm sure you're all going to be very tired. But in a couple of days, come back here and I'll have a job for you. All right? Anyone got any questions?
Do you have any use for the other 3 charms, or is it specifically that one you want?
Oh, I just need that one, my poppet. The other 3 don't matter to me because, well, let's be honest. I don't care about the other types. I just care about vampires and being able to detect them. So if you leave that one on the table, I'll make sure you get your coin and come back in a few days, and I'll make sure that you get an even bigger payout when we do this job to get some turf. How does that sound?
Job's a job, isn't it?
Oh, Auntie Helen always gives the best jobs.
And what about you, Grimlyn?
Oh, I didn't get past you that I was being quiet then.
No.
Well, last time that thing went haywire, it was not a good scenario. I don't know if the rest of you remember that, and Grimlyn will look around at
It was
everyone.
hours ago.
Hours ago, yeah. Yeah, I just that's a very different scenario than yeah. Just what's the difference between the two? What made that different?
Well,
I don't understand that.
the vampire in the boat was trying to kill us, whereas the vampire in the room is
Yes.
trying to give us coin.
Yeah, but why was it trying to kill us? Just because we were in
Yeah, because we
place?
were
Or...
in his place nicking his stuff.
Right. You reckon that's it?
Sounds plausible.
Auntie Helen kind of looks down and just looks away a little bit.
And
Yeah.
if we were worried about Auntie Helen, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be very rude to be having discussions in front of her how we were about to dispose of her. Hypothetically speaking. I think that
I'm not having those kind of...
the smarter move would be to say yes, leave, and have those discussions later.
Yeah, but this is Auntie Helen.
Yeah,
I think,
poppets.
you know, I'd rather be upfront about it, you know?
Exactly.
Know where we stand.
She reaches out and thinks to pat your face, Larkin, but then thinks again, sort of
Even the undead can catch some things.
Don't worry, poppets. Now, eventually, yes, vampires, they need certain things to feed, to continue. Maybe if the body breaks down, then maybe I need a new one. But don't worry. I'm absolutely fine for now. When things start changing, then maybe, we can deal with it then. But right now, I'm myself. I'm old Auntie Helen. Things haven't changed that much.
So what's the lair you have in mind?
Oh, I need to wait for my man to come back. So you have a few days off. Go do the things you like to do. And then when you come back to me, we'll talk about the new digs, hopefully.
Do vampires fight, or do they like each other?
I don't know. I've never met another one of me. I'll be honest, I hadn't intended becoming a one of me. It's just something went wrong.
And this is you, not someone else that's taken over your body, pretending to be you.
Larkin, for a comment like that, I'm going to go find your picture on the wall and turn it around. If you don't believe that I'm me.
Well, it was already turned around, so I'll be back out again.
I will nail it to the dog door.
Yeah.
Backwards. Your face will be lying in the cat's litter tray if you're not.
You probably like it.
Not fond of cats.
No.
They're the true evil buggers, cats. You never trust a cat. Also, witches have them.
There's no such thing as witches. Well, poppets. Go off, have some fun, And then in a few days, come back and see me, all right?
Very well.
She stands up, still using her walking stick that you know contains a sword, and bids for you to basically use the door, and she's going to stay in the back room. When you get out the front, Mr. Scratcher, Silas Scratcher, goes, I'll obviously wait for you to come back, and here is 6 coin, as agreed, for your trouble. And well, when you do come back, obviously I'll bring up, and she's absolutely safe here, and don't worry. I've been making sure that she's
But
after.
are you?
But am I safe here? Well, yes,
Well,
I am safe here.
good.
Well, we'll find out when we come back, I suppose.
Yes. Well, yes. No, everything's absolutely fine here. Everything is absolutely fine.
So, like, 2 days? Is that-
2 or 3 days, yes. Go off, have some fun, enjoy yourselves. Auntie Helen's in very good hands.
Can I try and see whether there's any marks on his neck?
Yep.
I mean,
It's not going to take you a roll.
Yeah.
He's wearing he has got a sort of big cravat around his neck, so it's difficult for you to tell.
Okay.
He looks at you and just smiles, the smile of someone that's smelling Barkin Larkin.
Please leave.
Brings out the best in people.
Yes.
Right.
Well, it's good to see you, and please, oh my, it really does assault the senses, doesn't it? And he opens the door and sees you outside, giving you an opportunity to talk, should you wish to.
I'll wave a little scented poufle at him, like,
Right. We're going off to enjoy ourselves then. 2 days.
yes, I think so.
What's you all going to be
It's,
doing?
None of your business.
Wow.
None of my business. Wow. Friendly.
That's a very good question, because we're going to do some downtime, which we didn't get to do last time. So you'll get 2 downtime activities each. Remember that for downtime, you can either try and acquire an asset, which is where you pay money to do that. You try and do a long-term project. You try and recover, which fills in your healing clock. You try and reduce heat. You either train, which means you can assign 1 experience point into any of the tracks. And again, I will go through experience points offline because I now understand them. Or you could indulge a vice, which will help reduce your stress. But remember, you can overindulge and cause problems. So we'll start in the order we introduce ourselves in. So Grimlyn, what would you like to do for your first downtime action?
So I think previously I started working on like an information network.
You did, yes, spy network.
Yes. So I would like to carry on for one of my actions doing that.
Brilliant. So you need to roll the crew's tier. So you're a tier 2 crew. And then, yes, we see how well you do there to get the asset.
Do I need to roll 2d6?
Yes, 2d6, please.
Six and a 5.
Very good. Yes. So you were going to be going with kind of like some of the urchins and some of the people of the lower classes, weren't you? Sort of. to form your network.
Yeah.
Very good. So with that roll, you managed to get some really good contacts to essentially look out over certain districts of the city. Your crusades, your personal crusades, and your personal morals put you in good stead with a lot of the people in the lower echelons of society anyway. So you have a contact for your spy network, and the contact is called Rosalind Turner. So if you need any information, you need to go see Rosalind Turner, and they'll be able to organize it for you.
Hint.
So that's your first downtime action. What's your second one?
The second one is I want to try to reduce my stress.
Brilliant. So you need to indulge your vice. So with indulging your
Yes.
vice, you pick your your weakest quality, so your weakest of insight, prowess, or resolve, and you roll an attribute roll. So if you have no dots in that line, that first line, for your lowest quality, then you just roll 2d6 and take the lowest.
When you say, so I've got skills, at least one skill in all of them. So
Brilliant. Then you roll
in
1d6.
each category.
Yep. Roll
It's getting a
1d6,
bit
please.
confusing.
Five. And what was your stress level before?
So I think it was 3. I haven't got it marked on here, but
Oh dear. Well, so you reduce all your stress. However, because you have reduced your stress by more than you have marked, you have overindulged.
okay.
So when you overindulge, you make a bad call because of your vice in acquiring it, all while under its influence. So what is your vice? What's the thing you like to do?
I like to go to somewhere slightly above my sort of station to go and have afternoon tea and cakes and things like that. So like a bit
Lovely,
more of a
yes.
sort of posh tea house, or maybe a hotel or something that does those kind of things.
Brilliant. So I believe you get to choose this as well. So you get to either attract trouble, either brag. So attract trouble means an entanglement will happen, which could affect your crew. You get to brag, which means you brag about your exploits, which gives heat to the team. Lost, which means you basically just disappear for a few weeks. Or you could be tapped, where your purveyors cut you off and you need to find a new source for your vice.
What was the first one again?
Attract trouble, where an
let's
entanglement
have
might
trouble.
happen. Okay.
Team
So
involved.
we need to go to the entanglements table.
And fight, literally.
Yes. So I need to roll a d6 here because your heat is, you've managed to lower it, I think, a bit. So should be all right for now. So whilst you're in the tea shop, you're thoroughly enjoying yourself. However, you manage to put your chair back and you just knock the chair of somebody else. And the person behind you stands up, and it's a lady in similar clothes to you. Well, no, more sort of Victorian, more or upper class clothing than yourself. But they're incredibly muscular, and they turn around and they say, "Well, who are you?"
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No, you didn't. And unless you apologize properly right now, there's going to be trouble.
Did I not just apologize?
Oh, no. You must apologize properly.
Oh,
You have
what's-
ruined a perfectly good blouse, she says, indicating her top, which has no marks on it whatsoever.
Oh, Grimlyn's going to have to pause for a minute. She's going to turn back to her plate for a minute just to have a think before she responds. Because
My name is Fiona Portenza. Lady Fiona Portenza. I know you.
you, that seems unlikely.
She leans in and whispers. Oh, I know you. You have been making waves. Auntie Helen's gang. Oh.
Who's Auntie
Well,
Helen?
don't you try that one with me. The lost boys and girls of Duskfall will keep their eye on you.
Well, I'm sure that will be lovely.
And
Perhaps they'd like to come for tea and cake too.
she stands up, looks at the table that she's at with. You notice that there are 3 young children at the table. They're all quite well dressed in sort of that Victorian large bow tie and bonnets and things like that. And she's just again says, "They're already here. We'll be watching you from the shadows." And she stands up and she says, "Come, children, we shall head back to the orphanage." It's at this moment something twigs in your head, especially given your new contact of the spy network. Rosalind Turner, advised you to avoid a gang that have been starting up recently, called who are nicknamed the Boys and Girls. So, in your entanglement, you have unfortunately stoked the fire of a rival gang.
Excellent.
But
You
found
have
out the
noticed-
information.
You have noticed that they've left almost an entire cream tea behind as well.
I will kind of surreptitiously clear that up for them and take it back to the others.
Brilliant. Lovely. Yes. So yes, you manage to do that, but your stress is now back at 0, which is really good. We then move on to Vixen. So Vixen, what would you like to do in your downtime?
If I recall correctly, I owe Tracy quite a nice evening after the lovely cart she procured for us.
You do. Yes, you do. You have a cart.
So, we've been for dinner, we've been to a spa. How about a nice show? Then
Lovely. Yes. Roll your lowest quality. So look at the dots down the side, and if you don't have any dots in that quality, then you roll 2d6. Otherwise, you roll 1. Brilliant. 3.
One.
How many stress have you got?
8.
Wonderful. So you reduce yours to 5. You don't overindulge. You take Vixen takes. You take your friend to see. There are many sort of reviews, really good reviews on at the moment. Lots of vaudeville style stuff, multiple acts performing. It's quite high culture though in some places, and it's amazing. She has a whale of a time. Of course, she insists on having some wine whilst at the show, on you.
Yeah.
but you have a nice time. You don't spend a full coin, but yeah, you definitely feel that your money bag is a little lighter after taking her out.
Oh, she's worth it
Yeah,
most of the time.
and that also reflects in the 3 you rolled as well, where she has a really good time and you have a good time because you're aware of how much money you're spending. Brilliant. That's your first downtime action. What's your second downtime action?
I think I'd like to spend a bit more time working on the tranquilizer darts.
Brilliant. So that'll fill another segment of the 6-segment clock. So you now have 2 of 6 segments filled in for the trank darts. Brilliant. And now we go to Jellybean. Now remember, you were cut off from your supplier last time for stabbing that meat.
Has he got over it yet?
No, you have to find another supplier.
What?
It was only a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah, money.
Do you wish to use some of your own money, some of your own coin to do it?
Not right now. I can't remember what my stress was because I've not got it on my sheet. But I don't want to risk the risk of overindulging again so soon, I guess.
You can. I mean, if you overindulge, that means that you got it down to 0.
Oh, I know. But then it seems like you could let it build up a bit longer and then potentially. I think we could do with reducing heat a bit.
Okie doke. Yes, you could.
I don't know what our heat level is, but I think it's probably quite high.
It's not great right now. I think it is. I think it is about 5 at the moment. So what do you want to do to reduce heat? So you need to pick one of your skills and roll your attribute, and the heat is reduced according to what you roll. So 1 to 3, you reduce 1 heat. 4 or 5, you reduce 2 heat, and 6, you reduce 3 heat. If you get a critical, so you're rolling 2d6 and get 6s on both, you reduce 5 heat.
Okay, so
Tell me what you want to do.
So if I use sway,
okay,
or consult, but sway has the extra ability to make them forget it happens.
Okay,
So do I roll the 2 that's in sway?
But tell me what you want to do as well. Give me an idea.
What I'm thinking is, I've only really got access, to our social circles through my parents and their parties. But whenever anything comes up, anything that I'm taking along to in the next few days, or any conversation that comes up at the tea shop or wherever, if there's any mention of any dastardly doings, I'll make sure to drop the name of the boys and girls as we've been warned against them.
Yep.
And if anyone mentions anything that sounds a bit like us, I'll be like, oh no, that sounds ridiculous. What about this gang over here?
Right. You want to deflect the heat on someone else. Oh, I love it. Roll your sway then, please. That's good. A 5 and a 1. So we take the 5. We always take the highest when you're rolling 2 dots, and that is 2 heat. You've reduced the heat by. So yeah, your heat is now down to 3. So that's really good. You've gone down a category. Brilliant. So that's your 2 downtime actions.
That's 1.
Was that 1? I thought it was 2. Sorry, my apologies. That was 1. Right.
No, we talked about the.
Oh, that was it. Sorry. Yes. So, what do you want to do then for your second downtime action?
So I might go visit Horsey Lady again.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't remember what the suspicion was around their true identity, but she did invite me basically to go, didn't she? I think.
Yep.
And this is the only horse it seems in the area, so that seems pretty fancy.
Yeah.
Jellic would like to go and talk horsiness and stroke the horsey and learn how to ride the horsey.
What do you want this to kind of? Do you want to fit this into either acquiring an asset or a long-term project?
I guess it's a bit of a long-term project, I suppose, in that it's building up this relationship with the horse lady and also a skill in horse riding
Yeah.
again.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So yes, I've made a note. The clock is a 4-segment clock. You've got 1 segment right now. She calls you Gel a lot. She starts sizing you up for jodhpurs, large leather boots, and says that once you've got the knack for riding a goat, well, riding a horse is just the same, Gale. So yeah, you do increase your relationship with her, and you fit right in there. Brilliant, thank you very much, Jellybean. And finally, Barkin, Larkin, what would you like to do? You had your own long-term project on the go as well of communing with the spirit that is inside you.
I do. I kind of want to reduce my stress first.
Wonderful.
If that's okay.
So your vice is
Being possessed by spirits.
exactly. So you have spirits around that you've acquired previously that you can be possessed by. You have you never really did anything with the friar in a box. He's still here. He's still around. And you have a spirit inside you right now.
I tend to like to go out and just open myself up and get possessed and have absolutely no idea what has happened to me. And I normally wake up somewhere in duskfall.
Brilliant.
And to make matters even more interesting, my prowess is 0, so I roll 2 dice and take the lower.
Yes, please do. So roll your dice.
Double 2s.
Yikes! Double 2s. That is not great.
I mean, this is to reduce stress, so
Yes, but it's still not lots. What's your stress at the moment?
My stress is 8 as well.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it goes down to 6.
Yeah.
And what happens? You go. You pick a district and you go down. You know some of the lower districts are the best ones. You probably are walking around the dockyards when you start to open yourself up, and you're not quite sure what spirit hits you. But when you wake up several hours later, you are naked and you are in a goat pen, and you smell quite a lot of goat, which is an improvement on your normal smell.
Yeah. Well, I will sort of get up.
You notice one of the goats looks like it's chewing your coat.
Excuse me. We're not going to have an accord, my coat. Okay, it's your coat now.
It lets you take it back, but you notice that there's a big bite mark out of it.
Sort of walk naked through the streets without my coat.
And yeah, I mean, you make it back to somewhere where you know you've got some clothes, and there are some looks you're given. Some of them are people covering their children's eyes. Some of them are people covering their own eyes. And one of them just goes, "I should get that looked at, mate."
Cheers. So, have you had something like this before?
Not that bad.
It leaks an awful lot.
Yeah, I can see there's a trail going back that way.
So that's my vice.
Yes.
A very interesting time that I have absolutely no idea what happened.
No. But you do when you do start to get dressed again, you notice that there is a large bruise on your back. Not one you take harm from at all. It's just in the shape of a goat shoe. It's like a horseshoe, but for goats.
Yeah. And then again, it's kind of the same but different in the fact that my long-term project is to sort of attune and become more as one with the spirit that has inhabiting me at the moment.
Hmm.
Perhaps I'll have a conversation with him about, do you remember anything that happened last night as you were sharing me with whoever?
I remember. You were possessed by the spirit of a goat.
Ah,
You had shed your clothing and decided to run rampant through the streets.
Hmm.
You are barred from 4 public houses down there now.
wow, only 4.
It was very, very amusing for me.
Hmm.
I have not met the spirit of a goat before, although I believe I once worked in a stables.
Hmm.
It's so difficult to remember now. So much of me has gone.
Do you want me to try and find out your history? Would that help you?
No,
No.
I think I prefer where I am now, in the present,
Hmm.
with you.
Wow.
You are an acceptable companion.
Wow. That's good to know. No one's ever called me that.
Mm. If you open up your mind to me, I may be able to help you in ways that you can only dream of.
Oh, got some pretty big dreams.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. And yeah, you fill the clock up to 2. So that's 2 out of 4 for you communing with the
Yeah.
spirit.
Perfect.
Wonderful. So a couple of days pass, and you are back in the back room with Auntie Helen. You notice that Mr. Scratcher out the front has the same, the same sort of cravat on. It's a different style today, but it's another big cravat round there covering everything. And Auntie Helen says through her veil, the veil over her face, "Oh, Poppy, it's so good to see you all again. I'm glad you came back. Well, jobs are good, and I think the Apollo Theatre, old run-down building not far from here. You see, I think it's safe from the spirit wardens. It's been boarded up for years. No one's been trying to get in or out for a long time. I think it's the perfect turf. No one will know we're in there. No one will bother us. Of course, history goes back many years, named after the owner's husband, Apollo Broderick. Old Herman Broderick started that theatre 100 years ago. And originally it was the talk of the town, but it's now very run down. There's just one complication with the theatre. It's not quite empty yet.
Right. Some vermin.
You could call them vermin, yeah. His eyes flick over at Jellybean. Her eyes flick over to Jellybean just for a moment. You could call them vermin.
Right.
So what do we need to prepare for this kind of vermin?
Well, one of those posh secret societies have moved in. The Viridian Fellowship, I believe they call themselves. Just a load of poshos trying to summon the thrice stabbed man. You know, one of the old gods. Meddling with spirits out the way of the spirit wardens. And oh, they are meddling. At least that's what my man told me. Everything going on in there is perfectly blackmailable. But get rid of them in a way that will make them never want to come back. Then it's ours.
Right. Oh,
All right then.
Barkin, do you think you can clear it out like you cleared out the last altar room? I didn't see what happened, but it was really clean afterwards.
no, I don't know. It makes a mess. I mean, we do need to, and I'm sure you won't take any offence to this, but talk at least coin. I mean, it sounds very much like you're moving in with us, our turf, and you're going to be on our turf.
Yeah, I just need an area where I can come and go as I please. It can be closed off from everything else. He's got cellars. I could live down there, out of the way, far away from anyone. Or it's got dressing rooms that go all the way up to the roofs. Could live up there. Oh, of course, if you do this, I could give you 4 coin. 4 coin and gang turf. Can't say better than that now, can you?
Well, yeah, obviously we can. We just have to ask for more coin, and it'll be better than what you've offered us.
Oh, yes, Poppet, yes.
I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying we can.
No. You could.
I
You
know me
could.
numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Your mother taught you well then.
I don't know me mother.
I should say that, neither do I. No. Look. Do you want the job or not?
Yes, sounds like beneficial, potentially interesting if we get to see who's involved.
Can
The
I
Well,
get
adults tend to do terribly boring things. I bet they're just prancing about in a silly costume.
Well, there's only one condition. You got to take my man with you.
does he have to come back?
Fair.
I bloody well hope so. It's Sark.
Oh, okay.
Take him with you. And when you're ready, when they've been kicked out, he'll help you secure it.
Mm-hmm.
Was you going to
It'll be
ask
fine.
something, Vixen? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm just going to ask if we were bringing the portraits over. And if we were, maybe hypothetically, this would help me move up a few spaces.
Well. Oh, well. Vixen, pop it. If you get me my own spot, and more, if you let me have one of the posh dressing rooms, maybe. Well, you'll be right next to the coffee table.
Well, we can't turn down an offer like that.
Do we know anything about when they meet?
Oh, they meet every couple of days. They like to go drinking there, I guess. Drinking and other things. She says, catching herself at the last moment, looking at, again, eyes flicking over towards Jellybean.
Well, if they're a posh group, maybe they'll bring in some real food.
Oh yeah, Sark spent a few nights watching him.
All right. What about you, Grimlyn? Are you? I mean, we've got a. Everybody's got to say I.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just sort of thinking about how we can do it. I'd already skipped the yes into the
Onto the
how
planning.
how are we going to make them run away in fear was my thinking, but
Yeah, normally you do that by blowing the thing up.
yeah, but we want to keep it so
Yeah.
I'm glad you got to that point as well.
Well, I'll let you go and do your planning. Sark is Well, he should be back at my old house. But he'll send for me when it's all done. I have every faith in you all. Yeah, poppets. Oh, this is nice. All 5 of you, all 5 of my favourites, going to the Apollo. 5 at the Apollo. It's nice. And she stands up and starts to sort of shuffle out of the room. And she sort of stands by the door of the room and just
I guess she wants us to leave.
What? Sorry, with my old age, could someone maybe open the door for me?
Yeah, of course. Get up, open the door.
Oh, thank you, Poppet.
It's okay.
And she shuffles away out and back up the stairs.
Are there any more doors up there that you need opening?
I'll be fine.
All right.
Larkin, I'll be fine, Larkin.
Just
Don't
this door
worry,
you've got a problem with.
It was just...
Sorry, I don't understand.
She says, no, I didn't think you would, Mr.
Thought it was a vampire thing. Can't cross threshold. I don't know.
What books have you been reading? I'm a spirit inhabiting my old body.
Right.
I was hoping that one of you would have some manners.
All right. Noted for next time.
Who smells like goat?
That'd be me. I don't like it. I've been trying to get rid of it.
Nah, keep it. It's a little nicer on the old nose, Poppet. I may be a spirit inhabiting a dead body, but God, blimey, these senses are good. Oh, right. I'll leave you with Mr. Scratcher if you need anything from him here. Otherwise, Sark's waiting for you back at my place. And she dodders out. And Mr. Scratcher comes in and says, is there anything I can do for you? Anything at all?
Right.
Tea?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna just.
Where are my manners?
And I sneeze down the front of him.
Oh, my word. Oh, no.
Deliberately. Let me help you with that. And I get out the filthiest cough and start rubbing it in an attempt to grab his neckerchief and start using that as well.
I am gonna need you to give me a roll here.
Yeah.
What skill would you like to use? How would you like to do this?
Filthy disgusting skill. I don't know. So many systems. Well, I've got no combat skill, but it would be, I suppose, a physical skill.
Yep. So finesse could be used, maybe.
Yeah, I'm happy to use finesse, but I've got nothing in it.
No.
But I'm still happy to use it. So that's 2 dice and the lowest. Yeah.
We take the lowest. Yep.
Okay.
My word, 2 6s. Well. That is the best result you could possibly have. It's not a critical.
No.
On this sort of roll, but it's still amazing. Yeah, you grab.
I'm not doing it violently. I'm just trying to have a look at his neck.
Yeah, no, and you manage to kind of work his cravat free and sort of pull it out and start dabbing with it. And yes, he has got 2 welts on his neck. So
I mop up most of my snot and just hand him the cravat back. Oh, terribly. I've been spending some time with some goat, and I think the hairs have got me snozzle.
Can I get? I mean, I'll get some tea. Yes, I'll get some tea. And he walks away a little bit unnerved, and then his hand reaches up to his neck as he's leaving. He moves a little bit quicker. And when he comes back out of the kitchen, with tea for everybody. He's got another cravat on, which you suspect is made from a tea towel.
Excellent.
Is it good tea?
It's all right. For you, it's all right. For everyone else that's probably used to not quite posh tea like you, I mean, your tea actually comes with tea leaves. Everyone else is leaves of something.
Like most
It's
things in nice, if it is warm and it's wet, it's good.
yes, and it's passable tea for you, Jellybean. But everyone else, it's nice tea. This is nice tea. And some time passes. Is there anything you want to do before you start prepping for the job? Anything you want to find out?
I mean, for the job, that is the prep. So there's nothing else that I'm
Cool.
eager to find out other than stuff for the job.
So let us swiftly move to the planning and the engagement. So aim Blades of the Dark, as we've said before, we go very quickly to the engagement role. You have to choose whether or not you wish to assault, perform a deception, go in by stealth, use occult, use your social skills, or transport. And what this will do is get you into that first scene, get you inside the building, get you on the roof, get you in the action. This just is how you're going to begin your plan. But we move to that quicker than you would normally think in Blades in the Dark. We don't spend ages planning. However, you can ask for information. You can gather detail if you wish to. If you don't know any details, if you wish to have more, this is the perfect time right now. So
Can we watch them first? Can we do like stakeout to see?
okay. What skill would you like to use for that then?
Well, it depends if it's just me or everyone.
I'm particularly interested if you, Jellybean, recognise any of these upper class.
Yeah, definitely. I guess I'm thinking it would be good to see what their outfit looks like, how covered they are. Could we replicate it? Do they meet at night? Yeah.
So, what role are you going to? What skill are you going to use for this one?
Well, I've got one in prowl.
Yep.
That's probably the most appropriate, I guess.
Okay. Remember, you can always push yourself. You can take a devil's bargain. If you push yourself, you take 2 stress and you can roll an extra dice. If you take a devil's bargain, then you can have an extra dice, but something else will happen. Remember, 1, 2, and 3 is a failure. 4 or 5 is a success with a complication, and a 6 is a success outright.
Okay.
Can I help her?
You certainly can. So, if you wish to help, you can donate a stress. Well, you can take a stress and donate a dice. So you will get an extra dice.
Yep. So
yeah, take
me
a
and
stress.
I'll do that.
Grimlyn, thank you.
Do a little stakeout.
Yeah.
Girls' night out, yeah. Yes. Very good.
Brilliant. So yeah, a 3 and a 6. So we take the 6. Yes, this group, the Viridian Fellowship, they have green robes. But one thing you do notice about them is they all, when they all rock up at this place, they all like to think that they're being really sneaky. So they're all wearing these dark black robes, cloaks with hoods over their heads, and they wear almost like masquerade masks on their faces to completely hide who they are. However, they do not hide their voices in any way, shape, or form. And as 2 people are walking into the building, you hear someone say, a man say to a woman, "Are you sure Jellica's all right at home tonight?" "Shut up. This is our time, away from little Jellica." You recognize that as your mother and your father.
I think they had it in them. How does everyone arrive? By carriage?
Yeah, normally there's sort of a goat carriage that turns up and people get out. You notice that there's kind of a stage door round the side. That's where people turn up. The old front of the building, the old front of house with the theatre bar and everything, that's all boarded up. So everyone goes through the stage door. At the stage door, there are 2 guards, very well kitted out, heavy duty guards. They're there all the time that you're there, but they do leave at the end. Once the people are done, it seems that they pack up and go.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to learn from the 2 of you staking this place out? Any other questions you might have if you've gone together?
I think for me, I'd like to get a better sense of if there's any other places that aren't boarded up that we could get in through. So obviously that's guarded, so we could choose to go in a different route while they're there, or we could try to go in before they come. So I'm just trying to get an idea of where else we could get in through, if there is anywhere else.
Yep. Give me a roll, please. What skill would you like to use to try and work that out? Again, you could answer one of many things.
I don't know. I feel like I'm still under the prowl, kind of trying to quietly move around the area, trying doors or testing areas and stuff to see what I can find.
I mean,
That
I can
works for
repay
me.
the favour and help if you want.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
So yeah, roll
Keeping
your
an eye
prowl.
out while Grimlyn looks round.
That's a good plan. So Jellybean, take a stress, and Grimlyn roll.
Oh, 2
roll with an
3s.
extra d6. 2 3s. It's difficult. Yeah, it's really difficult. You try and move around, and it looks like a lot of the old other buildings around this one are just so dangerous to move around in. You know that you would make so much noise trying to get around here. It's just not possible from where you are right now. It does look like there are other methods of ingress. It's just you can't confirm if they're open or safe, but you definitely got an idea that there may be more up there. It's just hard for you to do it right now.
Okay.
Cool. So you've got a bit of an idea of who's coming. Haven't got more of an idea of how you might get in from street level or above street level.
How many people were there around?
There's around about 45 people in total turn up.
Big group. Did they, when they went in, did they have to do anything, show anything?
Not that you could see. Well, from the guards, they would seem just seemed happy to see the cloaks, the masks.
Mm-hmm.
They just seemed to let them in. They didn't really they didn't acknowledge them or look at them though.
No, they didn't do a secret handshake or anything like that.
No. In fact, you noticed that all, and you would notice as well, Grimlyn, that the guards definitely did not look at the rather upper class people going in there, and the rather upper class people going in there definitely did not look at the guards. So, any information needed from Vixen? Is there anything you'd like to know before you start thinking about which plan you want to go by?
Probably a bit of a long shot, but I want to try and research this ancient god.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. So, what skill do you want to use? For you, you might be able to, but feel free to argue it.
I think probably going to be study, gathering information.
Right. Roll me your study then, please. Nice. Perfect. So no complication for you. So the thrice stabbed man is an ancient god from the time before time. Said to be a god of bargains. But he has a rather big chip on his shoulder, so they say, because he was stabbed in the back, not once, not twice, but thrice. So be careful when you make a bargain with the thrice-stabbed man, because, well, he knows all the tricks.
Does Vixen find out any? Well, who stabbed him? Was it sort of rival gods or sects or cults or?
It's a very difficult one to say,
Mhm.
because with these ancient gods, they are gods from beyond time and space. They are potentially devils, beings, creatures, maybe. Really difficult to know. The legends say it was humans that stabbed him in the back, people. But legends are quite often not right. So, anything from you, Larkin?
Not overly, really. I am sort of tinkering away, making a metal collar for myself, which is not appropriate for this job.
No. So, you need to pick a path. Assault. So you need to do violence to a target. So I need the point of attack. Deception, lure, trick, or manipulate. So I need the method of deception. Stealth, trespass unseen. So I need the point of infiltration. Occult, engage a supernatural power. The arcane method. I need the arcane method. Social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade. I need the social collection. Or transport, carry cargo or people through danger. So I need the route and the means. So assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport. Which one would you like to choose as a party?
Potentially, I could steal my parents' robes, and we could have 2 that enter by stealth.
I mean, the difficulty with that is if your parents go all the time, then they won't have their robes. And
No, they'd probably stay home, I guess, and be annoyed.
I mean, the task is to get them to leave this venue and choose a different one, basically, rather
Yeah,
just so they don't return again. I mean,
yeah. So we either go in and find enough about who they really are to blackmail them, or we set off some kind of spirit in there that freaks them out, I guess.
Maybe even have part of a structure collapse, make them think it's too dangerous to return.
I mean,
Yeah, well, nothing too expensive to fix, hopefully.
thinking of combination of, I think Vixen's idea is great with Grimlyn. A combination of that and maybe a bit of a mundane, more sort of vermin catching disease, that kind of thing. Just making it feel like this is it's there are better places to choose. Maybe
Thinking
even,
like a swarm of rats, are you?
no, I was thinking something probably worse. Something that carries disease. I mean, I know rats carry diseases, but I mean, let's face it. I mean, they aren't really diseases. Um, I mean, some of the stuff I've got in my body is better than what the rats have. The other thing I was thinking about is, I mean, we've definitely got some kind of angle with Jellybean's parents by feeding them information as well. Not necessarily directly through Jellybean, but at least we have identified them. So I don't know if we could use that.
I'd also like to say that no plan has to be entirely detailed.
Yeah,
No plan is perfect. So that's what the engagement role is for, to see
yeah.
how much trouble you're in once your plan has been put into action. This is the plan that technically you've already made. So
I mean, if we went stealth, we could go in at a time when we know they're not there. So we would already be inside before the security arrives, because if the security leaves when they leave, they're not going to be there much before they come. So, we can just pack a few sandwiches and stake it out inside for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Get everything in place, because, if you do want some strategic falling beams or something, then we need to get that organised ahead of time, and it's probably not great to do that on the fly.
Did the stakeout show any servants coming in ahead of time to bring the booze and food and things like that, or were these posh individuals perhaps carrying it on them? Seems
No,
unlikely.
there were servants ahead of time. Jellica would have seen them.
So there's a potential there if you wanted to at least carry some food in case you're asked what you're doing.
Or, sandwiches are already provided.
Yeah.
Bring
one
back.
sandwich, eat 5 on your way out.
Maybe we just spook the servants so much that they report back, and we don't even need to deal with the nobles, because dealing with the nobles is problematic with Jellybean.
But you know what's going to happen though? They'll just punish them. Just say that they're being
There's always more
ridiculous. That's
So-
one perspective, certainly.
I think agreeing the stealth entry before anybody gets there seems the easiest way in.
So stealth then. Yeah.
Brilliant. Stealth. So I'm not going to ask you how you enter the theatre, because that's going to be handled with the engagement role. What I'm going to ask is, where do you want to be when people start arriving? So you have options here, because this is a theatre, and the theatre has an understage. So the area directly under the stage. You have the stage itself. You have the backstage area. You have the flies, which is the part above the stage where all the scenery goes up. You have the maze of dressing rooms. You have front of house, so the whole sort of lobby area. You have the auditorium, which includes the pit, the stalls, the grand circle, the boxes, the corridors behind the boxes, and the upper circle. Or you have the theatre bar.
Is this for us as a group, or?
Yes, for you as a group to decide. Well, you can split the party if you want. That is your choice.
I suspect the stage is probably appealing to the nobles for trying to summon some kind of ritual. So if we wanted to drop something potentially on top of that, or perhaps
I like the idea of the flies. Like, we could peer down on them potentially from up there, and like you say, if we come across anything, we can drop how we want to drop.
So, the flies. Any advance on the flies?
No, it sounds fine by me.
Oh,
Brilliant.
good.
So now I need item loadout. So now you need to decide whether you're going light, medium, heavy with your load. So we'll start with Grimlyn. Light, medium, or heavy?
I'm gonna go heavy.
Brilliant. So that's heavy. Vixen?
I think Vixen's going to go light.
Jellybean?
Light as well.
Light. And Barkin, Larkin?
Medium, please.
Medium. Brilliant. So Grimlyn is absolutely decked out for combat, for battle, for blowing things up, whatever it is. You are moving slightly slower than everybody else with your heavy load. But we go straight to the engagement roll. So so you get 1d for luck. There's your 1. So is this operation particularly bold or daring?
There's a lot of opportunity to blow up in our face, so I suppose so.
Okay, yep. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors?
We're not quite sure what we're gonna do yet.
Yeah. No, I would say it's probably not. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
Yeah, I would say so. They're having their own little secret meeting. So.
Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations?
Well,
they do have guards.
They've got guards, but we're bypassing them.
Yeah. Take one away for that one. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
Me with my parents, potentially. But no more than I guess I've already found
Okay.
out unless I go and ask them. Should I worry?
Your parents are idiots. You can ask them what you like. Are any enemies or rivals interfering with the operation? Well, unfortunately, there is always an enemy / rival of Larkin's that is interfering with the operation. So let's take one off again. Are there any other elements that you want to consider? I'm going to give you an extra one for Sark because he'll be around.
Right. Okay.
He's a cutter, isn't he? Just fighting.
He is he's a cutter. He's big and brawly, and he's just like, look, I'll be around, but only call on me if you need me, all right? Otherwise, I'm just gonna lurk in the background, all right?
The guards are the ones that would be most likely to get into some kind of physical conduct. So.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to get hurt. So.
Oh no.
Right. Well, then I'm rolling 3d6, and as always, the normal rules apply. So let's see how this engagement roll goes. A 5, a 2, and a 3. So, as usual, we take the highest roll. That is a 5. So, you are easily up in the flies. But there's a complication. You get up there, and you get up there well in advance. But the one problem you find you have is that as you're going up the ladder, Grimlyn has taken a lot of stuff. And just as Grimlyn gets over the top, or the last of you get over the top, into the flies, because the ladder is on the side of the stage, in the wings, on the side of the stage, this rope ladder, the only one that leads up to the flies, at least from the stage, breaks and goes falling down to the floor. And just as it falls down to the floor and hits the floor, the doors start to open on the side and servants start coming through, bringing the food and setting up tables. And it looks like the tables are being set up on the stage. They've got some scenery around on the stage. So I'll describe the theatre. It's an old Victorian style theatre. So there's a massive proscenium arch over the around the stage, painted gold, but it's all flaking and cracked and broken. The stage, the old boards of the stage have seen much better days. They really need a good polish. There's old scenery that's rotting away. Some of it has been put on the stage to add to the ambience that makes it look a bit hellish. You can see that someone's clearly tried drawing magic circles on the stage, but it's absolute nonsense. They have a backdrop, a fiery backdrop that's down at the moment with many more old backdrops gently being eaten by moths up with you in the flies. There is a backstage area, sort of a small area out kind of behind the last bit of scenery where there's more scenery being stored. You can see that there's a door off to one side that leads to the stage door, and that kind of goes outside. That's when people are coming through. There's a door on the other side, which presumably leads up to the dressing rooms, the maze of dressing rooms. From the flies, you can't see out into the auditorium. You can only see down onto the stage because of the proscenium arch in the way, or the back of the proscenium arch in the way. But you are aware when you came in here that there is a full auditorium. So there's a stall, there are stalls, there are 3 columns of boxes. There's a grand circle, which is the first circle. There's an upper circle. And you also know that sort of beyond the back where the stalls are, there's the front of house with the bar. So you're up the top. There is, you notice, a small door up in the flies that presumably leads onto the roof. But you are now stuck up here amongst scenery and backdrops that are up where you are, all tied up. There's ropes everywhere. people are coming in and putting food on tables, and the first of the guests will be arriving very shortly. Over to you.
Is this a good time to tell you I've just found out I'm scared of heights?
You're going to be scared quietly.
I think I'm going to be sick.
Well, that would be a good distraction.
Yes.
They won't
If you can
want to come
time it, hold it and time it appropriately.
back. They'll think ghost vomiting is happening and they won't want to come back.
Throw up over the food, it'll certainly kick up a fuss.
Well,
It depends,
leave
doesn't it?
the
Because
surface.
if they want occult things to happen and then occult things happen, we might have the wrong effect. Make them
Touche.
more want to come back.
I kind of want to go back down.
Maybe we should go into the roof, start poking around, see if we can make little bits drop off.
I'm going to see if I can recognise anyone else's voice when they start coming in.
Okay, so that would make some time pass. So if you're going
Yeah,
to wait
yeah.
for
If
people to
anyone
come
else
in,
doesn't want
time
to do
will
anything
pass.
now,
So,
that's fine.
is there anything anyone else would like to do before the main people start arriving? Otherwise, we'll go to Jellybean and starting to try and recognise people.
I think I'd like to
How oh, go on.
Vixen.
go see what's through the door and get an idea of where we might end up if we need to make an exit.
Are you just going to be walking across the line? So the flies are, I said, they're like walkways, wooden walkways that are suspended from the ceiling. They are effectively just wooden boards, 3 or 4 of them. There are, for Larkin's benefit, there are hot gaps in them that you can see straight down if you look down. It's all right because if you look up, all you see is a really dark ceiling with these ropes just disappearing off into a bigger void in gloom above you because it's all been painted black. So yeah, are you just going to walk over, or are you going to try anything, or just happy to walk and potentially make noise?
How preoccupied are the servants looking? Are they rushing around?
Yeah, someone's commanding them to like, you put that over there, you put that down there. Come on, quick. People will be arriving soon.
I think. Well, I'm not actually trying to make noise. I'll stay low, and if there is creaking and things, it may work in our favour later if bits start falling.
Okay, do you want to make a roll for that then, please?
Okay.
Pick a skill.
Quite sure what this would be. Maybe. Do you have any suggestions? I'm really not sure what it would come under.
Well, let me have a look. Well, you've got prowl. You could do finesse. I don't think hunt, study, survey, or tinker are appropriate. I mean, you could use study or survey maybe if you wanted to look down at people. I don't think any of the resolve ones were appropriate, but yeah. As a suggestion, potentially the survey to look down below to see what effect you might have, finesse or prowl.
Okay, let's give it a survey roll then.
Cool. That's good. Yeah, you find good places to step. You get a good idea of the layout of the upper part of the flies, the upper part of the building. If things are going to start falling later in good spots, you start to pick out good bits of scenery, good bits of the flies themselves that could potentially fall down if that's what you wanted to do. But you make it to the door, and you open the door slightly, and with the 6, you realize that being careful was the right thing to do, because as people have arrived, you notice that outside the door, on the roof, facing away from you, there is a barrel, and in the barrel is a fire, and sitting on either side of the fire, facing away, are 2 guards, currently with a kettle on top of the barrel fire, making themselves a brew. They don't hear you, they don't see you. You see one of them is currently, making a roll up. Sort of.
Is there any indication that they've got up here any other way than we've got up here?
They didn't pass you, and they weren't here when you presume they weren't here when
We
you got
didn't
here because
see
there
a
were no
fire up
guards
there,
here.
so can
Yeah,
you
and
presume
they
there's some kind of fire exit or just external route up?
yeah.
Okay.
Be heading
So
back for now, then I guess. I don't want to tangle with them yet.
cool. Is there anything Grimlyn would like to do? What's up here?
I want to have a look at where they're putting the food and stuff and see whether there's like a big kind of bowl of liquid of any description and like a sort of punch bowl, or maybe something they're going to use as a sort of shared sacrificial wine or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm more than happy for those things to be true. There is a huge punch bowl into which you see someone dumping gallons and gallons of like a blood red coloured fruit punch.
Okay.
They're lacing it heavily with alcohol. Lots and lots of bottles of like vodka are going into it. But basically, it's just a Bloody Mary, really, big old Bloody Mary.
Because I have a thought, but it depends whether or not from the flies we could drop something into the punch bowl or not.
You could, in theory, you could.
Because I would like to, in flashback, have
Yes.
acquired from Stasia, the apothecary, some kind of medicine, which I would happily pay for, so she's not
Yep.
getting into trouble, because we did nearly get her into really trouble last time. Something that has an emetic effect.
Okay.
Or the other end effect.
Yes.
And a very large bottle, which I'm going to try and pour down into the punch bowl.
Wonderful. Well, as you're paying for it, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll for that one. I'm just going to say take 1 stress, because she's more than, I mean, an emetic and a laxative, they're not things to question. So all I'd like you to do is roll me a d6, and on a 1 to 3, it's an emetic, and on a 4 to a 6, it's a laxative. Never have I wanted a low roll more.
It's a fun.
Oh dear, it is a laxative. It is a laxative. So, yes, she hands you this one and says, I'm afraid this is the only one I have in stock. It's not for that Larkin chap, is it?
No.
Oh, that's fine then. That one will be fine.
Good. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anyone experiencing being with Larkin if they took some of this.
No,
make sure he doesn't get near it.
Yes, well, no, I just don't think it would have an effect on him.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, true. I wouldn't want to risk it anyway.
And she gives you the sort of a decent amount of liquid laxative, because it's easy to pour. And back in the real time, you have this bottle. Yes, you have this bottle of liquid laxative. Tick a box off your load, though, please, because it is something you would have had to have carried in as well. So that is the price you have to pay. But describe to me how you want to empty it into this punch bowl. If you want to do it from this height, what skill would you like to use?
So I would probably be looking at using something like finesse, because I think from where I am, it's about, if the servants are pouring it, want to kind of maybe distract their attention a little bit. Maybe there's a noise or something just as somebody comes in, and then kind of pour it, and maybe do it in a few stages so that they're not seeing this constant stream of liquid coming from really high up. So try and do it like that it's kind of a bit more sort of subtle. I think that's kind of how she would approach it.
Or get like a really thin wire and lowered the bottle into the thing and then pulled it out again.
Well, remember, you can either do this as a group action, which means you all roll. But for any failure, the leader of the group action takes the stress. You can take a devil's bargain, which means you might get an extra dice, but some other consequence will happen,
I can help with finessing.
or
And
someone else can help you.
I don't mind doing it as a group either way.
I
What
don't
would you
mind
like
doing
to
it as a
do?
group.
Okay. Is everyone in on that one, Larkin?
More than happy to help.
Wonderful. Vixen?
I think Vixen might be doing her scouting while this is going on.
Brilliant. So, wonderful. Yep. So, Jellybean, Barkin, Larkin, and Grimlyn, you are leading the action. So, please, each of you, roll me finesse.
We'll do it one at a time, I think.
Yes. So, Grimlyn, you roll first, please. So, you've got 2 dots, haven't you?
I already rolled when you said,
finesse.
and I rolled the double 3, and then
Okay, so that's 1 stress
Finesse
you
is
take.
1. I've got it.
Oh,
on.
finesse is 1.
Grimlyn
Sorry,
had
yeah.
rolled 1.
Yep. So you've rolled 1, so you've got 1 success. Jellybean has failed, so you would take 1 stress. Larkin, you roll, please.
I have no finesse, so I'm
So
rolling
roll 2,
dice.
and we take the lowest. 3 and a 6. So
We
you
all
take 2 stress, unfortunately, but you do succeed with a complication. Now, you described that you were going to tie the bottle and lower it down, potentially. Is that how you wish to do it, or were you going to?
I was going to pour it from high up.
Cool.
Can
Well,
I
Lower the
suggest,
bottle.
sort of, as I was part of this group action, being a
Mhm.
tinker, I'm kind of aware a little bit of kind of science, and I've messed around with liquids. So if we lower a wire down, a thin wire, and then pour the liquid onto the wire, it should just spiral round and down and drip in. So that was my contribution. It was a failure, but by doing this, it means that I've kind of got some of this laxative all over my fingers. Just saying. It's up to you if you want to make any complications with that.
No, I am happy for that to be if you want to go with that approach, I am more than happy for that to be the complication. That Larkin is now covered in laxative and doesn't know about it. Or maybe does know about
Well,
it.
I'm going to probably know about it very, very soon. And so is everybody else.
I'm going to start a clock. So, in fact, I'm going to start 2 clocks. Larkin unpleasantness. And that's got 6 segments. And I'm going to say general unpleasantness. Because although we are currently recording this after the watershed, nobody needs that. So Larkin unpleasantness has 6 segments. General unpleasantness has 6 segments. And as time and as things progress, those clocks will progress.
Taking one for the team. Nothing like being trapped
Oh,
up above.
you won't be taking anything. It's all given.
Okay.
There we go. You're going to be demonetized the moment this goes out. Right. So,
I didn't expect it to go this way. It's a simple plan.
I can't say I did either. But that's
Sorry.
what plans. That's what that happens when you make plans. So, yes, this thing goes down. So we go back to Jellybean. Jellybean, I would like you to make a roll as the people start to file in. So the servants start to file out. The man there's like, come on, out, come on, get out. And he leads all the servants actually into the front of house area, not out the back. So they are actually now going to hide, whatever. They're going to be going towards front of house with no view of the auditorium spaces. As coming through the stage door are these people in cloaks and Viridian cowls underneath.
Okay.
So what skill would you like to use to try and recognize them?
Consult.
Okay.
Um,
How do you want
because
to use it?
I guess I have consulted with them in the past, and like I'm not
Okay.
consulting with them actively right now, but
No.
I'm listening out for their usual voices that I would recognise.
I like your reasoning. Roll consort, please.
That's the thing.
A 4 and a 5 is a partial
No.
success, isn't it?
Yes, it's a partial
That's all right.
success.
I'll take that. Block agree.
So that's a success, but with a complication. So what you see down there is a number of incredibly posh and incredibly absolutely wet people that you know from your parents' circle of friends. These are the not quite movers and not really shakers of Upper Doskvol. These are the people that they got money and they could probably have influence, but not loads of it. They're not in charge of any of the factions. They're not important enough to be anything other than senior clerks and junior councilmen and that sort of people. They're those sorts of people. People in business, people clerical. But they are the upper echelons of society. They do have lots of money. And they are currently looking like they are spending this money on these incredibly elaborate robes, which now they're taking the black cowls off. Now they're coming in. They take the cowl off, they put it to a side, the cloak, sorry, and they put it to the side, and they've got these green robes. And then eventually they start taking their masks off as well. And that's when you start to recognize some of them. They've kind of got the hood on. They've got part of the green robes is a hood, so they still can't completely see their hair, but you're aware of who they are. However, with a 4, you gasp as you recognize one of the people. It's your gardener.
Oh, who invited the staff?
Exactly. And that word, oh, who invited the staff, echoes around the auditorium. You're pretty certain up here you can't be seen because it's dark. There's no candles lit or no electric lights up here. But someone just goes, is somebody up there? Should we send somebody up there to go have a look? Go over there. And he says to the gardener, go outside and ask one of the guards to go up and have a look. So I'm now going to start another clock. Discovered. And that's got 4 segments. So, yeah, you have done some work. You are now aware that if you're not careful, you are going to be discovered.
Of course, I can't get up here because there's no ladder.
They can
No.
come through the other way, though.
Oh, yes, they wouldn't dream of going through the auditorium as people start dipping the ladle into the punch bowl and start serving out things from this delicious concoction. And some goes, this tastes better than it normally does. Someone put something else in this. This is amazing. I love this. Ooh, I might go back for seconds. Remember, you did this.
Not sorry.
We're not ones
Sorry.
to clean it up. Well, okay, we might have to be the ones getting someone to clean it up if we.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully it waits till they're outside.
So, crew, do we think we've done enough?
Hmm.
Do you think the parcel has been delivered and this might give them such a bad experience that they just never want to come here again?
Well, hopefully, but if not, I definitely know who are a lot of these are. They're not very special, but they do come around to these dues, and I'm pretty sure we could send some kind of blackmailing message that we could expose their identities if they don't move along. We could wait a little longer and see what they actually do, but I think they're
I
sending
don't
one of the
think I
guards up.
can wait much longer. You know, I said I was feeling a little sick. Well, there's movement the other side now.
Oh,
I think it
yes.
might be. It might be this here. It does taste quite nice though.
I would.
It's
I
like
would. I wouldn't lick your fingers, Larkin.
pepperminty. Do you want some?
No, no, definitely not.
Mm.
That wasn't actually meant for us to drink. You know that, Larkin, don't you?
Wow, it's not going to get off my fingers.
I was considering waiting until they sort of take up their chanting and attempted summoning and trying to drop something from up here, right in the middle of that circle, as their chanting is very much a sign of it's not appreciated.
But yeah, I mean, it would be great to watch them a bit longer, but I think they are sending someone to look around. If we keep an eye out and be ready to dip out, maybe we could.
If we camouflage our position, we've got no choice. We wait for them to come to us, or
Good.
we burst out on the guards.
Is there any way we can get past the guards?
So, Vixen, when you looked out on the roof, you did actually see another door. It was off to the right. It looks like kind of it looks like it kind of goes off towards where potentially where the changing rooms are. The dressing rooms, sorry. So it looks like they're over off in that direction. So it would be a short walk across the roof. You could walk straight behind them to get to that door, and maybe if you were quiet enough, no one would turn around and see you. There may be another way up as well, a fire escape, but you couldn't see any evidence of that from where you were looking.
So it's possible, but there's 2 guards. Someone's coming up. If we're going to try and sneak across, I think we need to do it before they're aware.
Well, we've got no place to hide up here.
Oh, it's dark. If we lay low, perhaps.
The guards are probably going to bring the light with them.
Well, if something falls when they make a first step, maybe they'll be discouraged. But I'm happy to go. I do not particularly wish to push dropping objects from great high on snooty nobles.
Well, seeing as how we said that we might kind of make some of the theatre kind of make it look like it was falling down, but not actually really that much significant sort of structural damage. I did bring a few devices that we could position as we kind of go. So like to cause some things like some of the sort of scenery to fall down, maybe the odd beam that's not actually doing anything really significant, a few little bits, loosen some kind of, some of the screws and stuff, and on the way. I mean,
I didn't
actually, as you
realise
do.
they put false beams in just to be beams, not doing anything. That's interesting.
But it's not that they're not doing anything, but it's not structural. Like if we take a beam out, we could easily then put it back in, in a day or two's time, and the building won't have fallen down. Some of them are really important, that if we pull those out, we do have a problem. But there are some that we could use which are not that important structurally, a short period of time at least.
I like the sound of that. So, are you going to make me a roll for that then, Grimlyn?
Yeah, I think I would have to. Well, don't know that it really comes under rec because I'm not. Yeah,
Could do if you wanted to. You could do because you are
Just don't-
trying to sort of destroy things
yeah.
or
Okay,
apply your knowledge.
let's go rec then.
Brilliant.
I think Vixen, in her desire to start dropping things on snooty nobles, will help out.
Brilliant. So, yeah, Vixen, take a stress, and you get an extra die.
Okay. Let's
So 4's a success, but a success with a complication. You will
Mhm.
find out what that complication is later. But you managed
Yep.
to take some. You basically managed to do some more superficial damage on the way down. You do set up. So did you want to use one of your devices?
Yeah, so I'd kind of figured that she'd probably got smaller devices than normal and like a couple of them to kind of strategic, because she knew
Yeah.
that we wouldn't want to really damage it because in a major way, because we want to live there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a
So
bit daft. But things like kind of either kind of cutting some of the ropes so that we can make the sort of some of the scenery fall down really easily, or then kind of positioning it, or like loosening a beam and then putting a small device behind it so that it will kind of pull it off and it will fall down. But those are kind of like positioned behind where the main stage is. So the hope is that when it falls, it will be dramatic, but it actually won't catch anyone because there
Yep.
shouldn't be anyone back there.
Wonderful.
So yeah, so it's about dramatic damage rather than actual
Cool.
damage.
So scenery falls down is a clock I've started with 4 pieces. Tick off box a load. But yeah, something is going to happen when the scenery falls down. There are other things that will happen as well, but that's the main thing that's going to happen. I will also at
So
this point. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say because of my because of my specialty, that when we do that, it should be quieter than normal.
Brilliant.
And anything we do should be hidden from casual inspection.
Amazing. That's really good. So I have increased all the clocks by 1 because these are slightly time based. Larkin's unpleasantness is at 1, general unpleasantness at 1, scenery falling down is just started, so that's not at 1 yet, but discovered is now gone up to 1 as well. So, folks, what do you want to do? You are literally on the clock.
Thinking we're under the impression we want to get out, aren't we?
Can I say that I have brought a cloak?
Yep. Tick off a box of load.
Yeah. I won't have one specially made, but I assume I'll have something like a big thick cloak. That
You would have, yes.
So I'm going to try and put that on. Obviously, I'm short, but that if a guard comes up, I'm going to tell him to sod off, basically, that I've been securing this area before we continue.
Okay. Well, we'll deal with that if someone stops you. But yes, for now, tick off a box of load and you've got a cloak. So, where are you going? Are you staying up in the flies and hiding? Are you going to try and sabotage the entrance to the flies from the stage? I mean, or are you going to try and sneak over to where the dressing rooms are? Or are you going to try and confront the 2 guards?
How would we get to the dressing rooms from here? Then
So
there's
you
no
get
way up.
out the door, out onto the roof.
Oh,
and on the
right.
roof,
Yes.
there is
Sorry.
another door down to the dressing rooms where you can try and sneak behind the guards or find some other way through. It's up to you. You can try and talk to the guards. You could push them off the roof and toll the bell of the spirit wardens on top of the bell of the crematorium.
I think that would be extremely counterproductive considering what we're trying to do.
Precisely.
So the best bet is Jellybean. You try to consort them, move them back.
It's just if you want to prepare anything else in case it goes wrong. But I'm happy to be if everyone else is hidden, and I'll try and do that.
Okay. So you have your cloak. You don't have a mask, but well, no, you might have a mask. I don't know. It's up to you.
Well, I probably have some kind of kiddie mask, but I'll certainly
try
and have the hood over as much as possible.
You remember, you have flashbacks you could use. You also have Devil's Bargains for when you do things. It's up to you if there's anything you want to do in a flashback right now.
Yeah. I mean, I can't really think of anything that I could have prepared because I didn't know, like, in advance that it was the gardener, for example. And
That's what flashbacks are for, though.
I know. Well, okay. Say that I guess I tried to sneak in a reference with my parents at dinner.
Right.
Something about, I saw some people in some green cloaks. Didn't they look nice? And I've heard of some nice ruined places in the city. That it's a shame we've lost the theatre. This Apollo Theatre sounds terrible. And see if anyone, I guess, around the house mentions anything.
Okay, so you need to give me a roll for this one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and use sway because
Okay.
they'll forget about it.
Yeah. It'll come through in a minute.
Oh, I rolled 11, but
What did you get?
it's a 4 is the highest.
Cool. So what's your intent? There it's come through now. So what's your intention here? Is it to try and get your parents to dob one of the people in, or the servants in, or?
I guess it might make them nervous, but I don't know really. I'm just trying to think what I could find out in advance.
Okay. You want to get more information? That's
that
fine.
I could leverage once I'm there because
Yeah.
like if I know the gardener's there, I could find out the gardener's name maybe. But he would have to sort of come across this conversation and give something away.
Right. No. So yeah. Okay. So your father, your mother kind of gives you a stony look, because your mother is a lovely lady. And your father goes, oh well, it's a grand old building, very old historic part of the city. It's got many features, up on the roof. It's got a good view of the rest of the city. We've got the wonderful sort of fire escape at the back there, which goes to the ground, although it's a bit rickety these days, not completely secured to the back of the building. The dressing rooms, it's like a maze in the dressing rooms, and you can see that your mother is just staring daggers at your father.
Oh, Papa, I didn't know you were a thespian yourself.
I'm not. I was talking with Lemuel, the gardener. He knows about it. Lemuel knows a lot about the theatre. I think his family used to work there or something.
Oh, right.
Yes. Go to your room, Jellica. I think you've eaten enough now. We'll send pudding up with the help.
Okay, so at that point, I probably didn't take him seriously that the garden knew anything about it. I just thought he was trying to change the subject.
Yeah.
But now that they've said that I've seen that the gardener is there, I have an idea that it's
Lemuel.
Lemuel. Okay.
So take 1 stress from that flashback.
Yep.
Because any interaction with your parents is stressful. And yeah, you are on the roof. You are in your cloak. You are ready to go. The 2 guards are in front of you.
But that's not the guards coming up to check on us that I'm going to deal with.
That's the 2 guards sitting on the roof. Currently, one of them's having a cigarette. The other one is enjoying something from a hip flask. So what would you like to do? Jellybean. What would you like to do?
I thought this was everyone else then, not me.
No. You were the one that went onto the roof and wanted to try and...
I thought I was waiting for the guards that were coming up that had been sent.
If that's what you... Sorry. So if you're waiting for those guards, then you may have to wait a few minutes. Okay. But time will pass as that happens. And as time passes, I'm going to make a fortune roll. I rolled a 1. That's very good for everybody. Because the clocks only tick up by 1. So Larkin unpleasantness sits at 2, general unpleasantness at 2, scenery falls down is at 1, and discovered is going to go up. Because you're waiting, it's waiting for it to be discovered. And yes, coming up the fire escape, you hear clang, 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 clang. Oh, bollocks. 2 guards are currently at the top of the fire escape and they're looking down. They're like, oh, God, don't want to come out that again. Oh, that was terrifying. You two, we got people in the flies, probably. Let's go and have a look. We've got these torches. Let's keep them on low, though, because the toffs down below don't want to see that we're up there when they're up to their business. So you're aware that the 2 guards are up here with the 2 other guards. So there's 4 guards up here now. What would you like to do? Where would you like to be, Jellybean?
So, like I'm the one up in the flies, I guess. But if there's any like thing that looks valid, like some candles or something that I could be arranging.
Yeah, I'll let there be some candles that you can be sort of messing around with, and everyone else is going to hide, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do I think one of them is the gardener, or just that he's
none of the guards are the gardener? No, the gardener just went out to tell them to come up to the top to the roof.
Okay, that's fine.
So I would like a roll from everyone else, or one roll from one person, or a group action, maybe, for you all to hide. And if that's the case, what do you want to do?
Okay. What do you want? I have nothing in prowl, but I'm happy to try and give it a go. I'm currently undoing my belt at the moment as pressure is building on my stomach.
I have 1 in prowl. However, I wonder if perhaps this may apply to one of my specialties of when you hide in a prepared position or use camouflage. Then I may be able to get up to 2.
Yes, you absolutely would. You have time here, so you are able to be well prepared. So yes. So if you wanted to lead a group action, you could, but you will take potentially 3 stress. If you can take 3 stress.
It would retire me.
Well, that means, I mean, you can use your prowl to actually help prepare something for everybody, but it's obviously then its effectiveness is going to be slightly lessened. But you can use your prowl for everyone, so you can prepare an area for you all to hide in if you wish.
I'm happy to give that a go. What do you think?
So roll me your 2d6, please.
Okay. Before I roll this, there's no help on this roll, is there? So that's 2.
I'm not any use to you whatsoever.
Fair enough.
I mean, I have 1 in prowl, so if I can help you and it would be useful to help you, then I'm happy to do that.
You will take how much stress is it?
Just 1 stress.
Just 1 stress.
Just 1 stress to help from someone else.
I'm okay taking a stress to help.
Brilliant. Grimlyn, take 1 stress and have an extra d6 Vixen. And as you prepare this area, using scenery and just making sure you're in a really good position, so anyone giving a cursory glance would not see you at all.
Oof. Okay, 6.
6, just 1 6.
1 6, 2
Brilliant.
3.
Sorry, it's taking quite a while for these to come through. There we go. Yes, 2 3s and a 6. So yes, with your 6, you expertly find a really good place for everyone except Jellybean to hide. It's there's a load of sacking up here, a load of cloths and bits of scenery, and essentially you find a dead end where there's some cloth and things, and you just make yourself look like you're in some sandbags, all three of you. So anyone looking from walking around, unless they investigate heavily, would just think you've got a load of sandbags over there, a load of gurgling sandbags.
Yeah, it's like playing sardines.
So, Jellybean, you hear these people coming towards the door from the roof to the flies. Are you going to wait for them to open it?
I'll wait for them to open it and then like look to them like I wasn't expecting.
Okay. So yeah, the door flies open and they look at you for a moment. And what skill would you like to use?
Sway.
Sway. And how are you going to sway them? I'm going to push off. So you take 2 stress from this.
Okay.
So you get 2 stress to take an extra d6.
So I will go. What are you doing up here? Things are beginning. Those that are not in the cult should not be in the main auditorium. I'm prepping the candles.
Give me a sway roll, please. You get to take an extra d6. Remember, you can always take a devil's bargain as well.
Oh, critical. Double sixes.
Oh, amazing. They immediately just go, oh, did you? No, terribly sorry, madam. There's no one up here. Get away. It was her. They bow and kind of, sorry, madam. And you two, get back to your post. We go back down to the ground. Yeah, it's fine. If anyone says it was one of them up there. They don't normally up there, are they? Yeah, but they're all weird. And these 4 very quietly close the door, and you hear the sound of the fire escape, and you hear the sound of 2 people kind of sitting back down again, and you could just quietly hear, God, how did she get up here? Don't ask questions. There's a ladder by the side of the stage. God, I wouldn't want to go up that ladder. No, we need is bloody miles up. So, you're safe for now. And down below, it looks like whatever ritual they're trying to do is starting to begin. The magic circle is redrawn on the floor. And after lots of punch, lots of them sit down. One of them gets out a drum and starts banging it. And one of them gets the skull of a goat and puts it on his head and starts chanting and sort of moving in a very ethereal fashion as he weaves in and out of all the people sat down cross-legged on the floor, saying words that don't sound like real words. What would you like to do?
Can I do a study to see if I understand what they're doing or whether it's just nonsense?
Give me a study roll then, please. Is there anything else you'd like to do to push yourself? Anyone can help or take a devil's bargain.
I'm feeling not at my best at the moment, so I can't really think of anything else. I'm just fighting against the rising tide and just going to roll my normal sway, if that's okay.
That is fine. That is absolutely fine.
Sorry, study.
Study, yep.
Got 2 in it. 4 and a 2.
So 4 is a success with a complication. Well, you are studying, and in studying, you feel like you have to lean over a little bit so you can hear a bit better. It's at this moment that you remember that you are now afraid of heights and that you are leaning over and you just catch yourself. You fall forwards for a moment, but just the bar on the handrail just presses into your stomach just for a moment. And I'm going to increase the Larkin unpleasantness clock by 1.
Excellent.
You are now out of sync with the main unpleasantness clock. However, you do succeed, and you notice that this is a real ritual. It will not summon an eldritch god. It will summon a demon.
Okay, we've got a problem. I mean, I think it's literally going to hit the fan. They're all going to start. Well, this is probably going to disrupt the ritual, and whatever they tried to bring through could, well, yeah, we should leave.
Yeah, sounds like not our problem. We get out of here.
I mean, I don't know what demon it is. It could be like a filth demon. They might really like it. They might think it's part of the. I don't know which one it is.
Would
Don't think we should stop the ritual from finishing then.
I think they'll probably be stopping it themselves very, very shortly. If anything, if my stomach's got anything to go by.
Well,
Okay.
Barkin's the only one that knows about this kind of thing. I wouldn't want to try interrupting it without knowing the consequences.
Okay.
But you need to find yourselves a way down. And the way down still looks like, well, unless you wish to ride the scenery down. But that would put you on the stage with all of the cultists, we'll call them, the ritual participants. You could also, go out onto the roof. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Is there anywhere where if we did come back down behind the scenery, we can see that there's a door to like a dressing room or whatever, so we could think about coming down behind the scenery close to a door?
Yes, so there is a door into the dressing rooms on the far side of the stage from the stage door. So you could, in theory, try and use some of the ropes and use some of the scenery to try and climb down. Because the scenery is all sort of panelled wood, but with supporting struts behind it to make sure it stays up. So of the scenery that is currently on sort of the edge of the stage on the flies, you could try and climb down it. The ritual people are full swing at the moment, so they may not pay any attention to you, and you would be able to get to the door which leads to the dressing rooms.
Okay.
Because there are two doors. There's one at the roof and one on the stage.
Can I take some of the mechanism that is involved in the raising and lowering of one of the panels?
Yep.
And use it to fashion like a sort of rope or sort of big ladder if we knot the rope and stuff like that for people to be able to climb down. So kind of tinker something that can act as a rope ladder that brings us as best as we can judge out of the sight of everybody and really close to the door.
Brilliant. Give me a roll, please. And remember, you can either push yourself, you can get help, or you can take a devil's bargain.
I'm going to, let me just check my stress levels. How much stress can I take? Okay, so we can take 8 before it's a problem. And I've taken, okay, I'm going to push myself.
Brilliant. So you take 2 stress.
So that then is,
So
that adds 1 dice, doesn't it?
Yeah, 1 dice.
Yes, just 1, yeah.
Oh, hang on. I just rolled 1 dice for no apparent reason. Hang on, there you go. There's the other 2.
Took 6.
Amazing.
All 6s.
2 6s. Well, that is another critical success. So, 2 6s. It is easy for you to spend a few moments fashioning this fashioning this rope ladder, effectively to make your way down. It's not going to be difficult for anyone to try and get down it, because of the skill you've used to create this thing. You can hook it up. It's secure. You can prove it's secure, so Larkin knows it's secure, and you can go down it into the wings, where it is dark, and where people will not be able to see you.
Okay.
That is a fantastic success.
Nicely done.
Yes, very much so.
I'll
Well
probably
done.
suggest that Grimlyn goes last because she has been carrying the heaviest load and therefore is most likely to problem narratively.
That's a good idea, and you have a lot less load now because you've used some of the stuff, but that's a very good idea. So, do you all head down into the wings?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Brilliant. So, yep, you climb down this rope ladder, and eventually you find yourselves on the side of the stage as the people are chanting and making this absolute nonsense, happen. You do, however, see in the center of the circle sparks start to appear. You know they're not close to the summoning yet. This is just what happens when people summon demons. But yeah, things are happening. I am increasing all the clocks by 1. So Larkin, your unpleasantness is at 4. General unpleasantness is at 3, and the scenery falling down is at 2 out of 4.
Hey, Grimlyn, I know what it feels like to be one of your unexploded bombs now.
So
Let's get out of here right now.
on the side of the stage, you have 2 options. You either go into the dressing rooms and try and find a way out through the dressing rooms. Most of the dressing rooms do actually have windows, but they are old and all crusted over. Potentially there is a door sort of from where the dressing rooms are out to the front of house, because there usually is that. There might be some way to get towards the front of house should you wish to. Or you could walk all the way around the back of the theatre to where the stage door is without anyone seeing you, and go through the stage door, but there are the 2 guards there. So it's up to you which way you want to go. Or out into the auditorium. But that would be a bit more risky because you'd have to go onto the stage to do that and down the steps.
I suggest a window.
But we want to leave entirely. If there's a demon summoning going on, just not to stick around in case they don't stop. I don't really want to come back here and be slaughtered by a demon.
What do I know about demons and summon? Is this something that they might do often? Is this just look what we've brought?
Regarding whether it's something they do often, given no one's been inside to watch, you don't know. However, summoning demons is always dangerous. Always. Because you're attracting spirits and things, unwanted attentions upon yourselves. There may be ghosts or other such entities that wish to gravitate to this point because someone is summoning things that they shouldn't be. There's going to be minds that are open and vacant. It's not good when people summon demons, and it's not easy to do. So if it actually happens, then it's bad. And it looks like at the moment, things are happening. It's not difficult to stop, though.
So, I mean, disrupting it somehow.
Yep.
Are we talking?
You think the parts of the whole part of this is you've got the magic circle, you've got the willingness of everyone around to be a part of it, giving their energy, and you've got the person that's speaking the words that essentially are in the dead languages, that the words go to the other places, the other planes, the other worlds, and call forth these demonic entities to inhabit the magic circle. But if they haven't got the circle just right, of course it's going to get out.
Suggestions then? I'll tell you obviously all of that, but it's dependent on how much we want to show our hand.
I mean, we could be quite distracting. Potentially, if I just shouted someone's name, that would really put them off. But again, yeah, definitely highlight our presence here, which we probably don't want. So I don't know if you could use anything spiritual, or if that would just make it worse.
What if we were able to get a small item that's hard enough to break the punch bowl and threw it in there? It could potentially be put down to the spirits as they are getting closer during the ritual. It might be enough to wash away a heart of a circle.
Good idea. Good idea. Let's do that.
Ooh. So who wants to do that? Who's got the necessary skills? Is that Grimlyn, or would it be Jellybean? Or
I think Jellybean has the better finesse if we're talking about throwing something in a specific place. But on the other hand, if we want to throw it really hard, you might say Grimlyn's wreck is better.
all good answers.
Yeah, Vixen's good with hunting, which is
Mm.
not sure if it's the
Ooh,
same,
yeah.
but it is
Good, like,
ranged sort of
slingshots.
attacks.
You've got a gun as well, haven't you, Vixen?
I do. I don't know if that crack of a gun can be put down to a spirit, but it would certainly get through a punch bowl.
The current situation with everyone on the ground is they're all humming and sort of chanting, whilst this person is dancing around them, chanting even louder, saying these strange words. There's a bit of a fervor at the moment amongst the people that are doing all of this chanting, and yeah, it's not that they wouldn't hear a gunshot, but there's a chance that it might be misconstrued as something else, especially if there's the sound of the tinkling of glass. You could try it.
Is that what everyone's happy to do?
I've just had an idea.
Okay.
So, knowing that, well, I assume that Grimlyn would know, most people know that under the stage they have like trapdoors and stuff like that.
Yep.
What's the positioning of the circle and the people in relation to the trapdoor?
There is a trapdoor where the circle is, and there are a couple of trapdoors on either side as well, where there are people, because the people sort of got trapdoor, circle of people, and another trapdoor under some of the people as well.
Basically, I'm just wondering if we could rig something so that the hinges on the trapdoor go after, we step back a little bit from it. So tinker with the sort of trapdoor so that it goes, and then they fall in, and then that breaks their concentration. And we wouldn't be, we'd have scarpered by then or something. Don't know.
Sounds like a good idea. There is you notice that there is a ladder not far away that goes down under the stage. So you can get under the stage and tinker there if you wish to.
So why don't we sort of semi-split? I'll head into the dressing rooms to try and find a window that we can get out of. Grimlyn, you head down underneath the stage and start tinkering to the hinges. I think if the trapdoors do go, it's a perfect opportunity for you, Vixen, to make that shot as well during that chaos.
We also have the scenery coming down if time ticks on far enough for that.
Yeah.
So.
And Jellybean, I mean, either with me for the window, because I mean, let's face it, I'm just going to throw something through it, or perhaps helping out Grimlyn. I don't know, or perhaps something else that you are thinking of.
What do you reckon, Jellybean? Which one do you want to do? Do you want to help Larkin with the window? Do you want to help Grimlyn tinker with the trapdoors? Do you want to help Vixen, make the shot? Or is there something you would like to do?
I mean, I don't have anything in Tinker, so potentially the only one I could physically help would be Grimlyn, if like finesse was involved. But if you want me to sort of stand guard around any of you in case a guard comes or anything else, then I'm happy to go with whoever.
The lookout. Good.
Or just basically sort of be the midpoint in case anyone looks like they're coming.
Okay. Yep.
Sounds good.
That sounds good then. So we'll deal with Larkin first and the window. So Larkin, you open the door, you head into the changing rooms. The dressing rooms are it's a maze, really. There's one straight in front of you, but you notice that there is a corridor that goes to a set of stairs that goes up and splits left and right. And you see signs that are like dressing room 5A, 12B, 11F. And there's no seeming rhyme or reason to which dressing room is which. But right in front of you is a dressing room with a faded gold star painted on the door. And as you go into that dressing room, this is plush. This is very plush. There's a window that has been a mirror that's been rigged with electric lights all the way around the outside. There's a musty but still plush looking armchair in front of it. There's 2 sofas in here, leather sofas with a small table. You notice that there is a wooden minibar, that the drinks have been long gone. There is also a window that is a sash window that looks like it's completely crusted shut with pigeon poop.
Okay. So, are you telling me it is unopenable, or are you telling me I need to try and open it?
You need to try and do something.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can either throw something through it, or you can try and physically open it. You can try and work the pigeon poo away. Whatever you want to do.
I'm going to try and tinker with the window then and see if we can get it loose, basically.
Cool. So remember, you can push yourself, or
if I push myself, you don't know what's going to happen. So
I think I know what's going to happen when you start pushing.
I would like to also see if there's a commode in here somewhere.
There is an ensuite. There is an ensuite. Yes. The plumbing hasn't worked for years, though.
That doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, so I kind of noticed that as a contingency, and I go to work on the window. Would you like me to make a roll?
I'd love you to make a tinker roll, please.
Okay, here we go then. Well, can't get worse than that.
It can when your internals, unfortunately, still are struggling. Yes, it's difficult for you to work the pigeon poo off.
Does my clock tick round?
It goes up to 5 out of 6.
Okay.
But that's not to say that we can't get out this window. It's just that you can't get it open the traditional way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we'll go to Grimlyn under the stage. So you've gone down the ladder and you can see the mechanisms for the trapdoors. So what would you like to do?
I would like to fiddle with them so that they're weakened, and basically, the difficulty for Grimlyn is working out if she's going to try to loosen more than one, making sure that she can get out before the first one goes. So it's about how much she loosens each of them, and she'll have a look around and see if there's possibly anything like sort of beams holding the stage up that are a little bit dodgy, where she might also give those a kick on the way out. I don't know.
So which role would you like to make? Which skill would you like to use?
I think I'd like to make the tinker roll because it's all about the trapdoors, basically.
Would you like to either take a devil's bargain or push yourself?
I don't think I can push myself seriously. Yeah, let's do a devil's bargain. I haven't done one of those, I don't think.
Wonderful.
Oh,
So I will give you an
why
extra
not?
D6 if, well, as the people fall down,
Mhm.
they will momentarily see your face
Okay.
as you're hightailing it. They'll just catch a glimpse of you.
Okay. Okay.
Are you happy with
I'm
that?
cool with that. Yeah.
Brilliant. So you get an extra D6. So roll, please.
Ooh, 5 is the highest.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's for the complication. And the complication is that scenery falls down is going to go up. And general unpleasantness is going to go up. Larkin unpleasantness is handled by something else at the moment. The gods of Larkin. But you, with a 5, you do manage to loosen all the bolts so that they'll fall down at the same time. And as you make it to the stairs and you knock out some of the supports, basically making the stage completely unsteady, you get to the ladder. And then we'll go to Vixen, who's about to make the shot. You see Grimlyn coming up the ladder. You see the start of these trapdoors going and people going, oh my, as they start to fall down. Vixen, what are you going to use to make the shot on that punch bowl to disrupt this?
I think given the fact we knew we were going to try and be above them to drop things off them, Vixen will have brought along her fine long rifle.
Brilliant. Take off a box of load.
2 boxes.
2 boxes then. Yep. And then make me a roll, please.
Just go for it. Highest is a 4.
Okay. So, yeah. The shot goes off, and the complication here is that you are going to take 1 hit because the shot goes off and a few people look over and see you holding a gun. And they go, that person's holding and then they fall down through the trapdoor. And unfortunately, as the shot goes through, the punch bowl shattering it in one side, and punch goes everywhere across the floor, rolls straight over the magic circle. The sparks disappear. Grimlyn, you come up the ladder, but you are absolutely certain as the people are falling through, some of them have caught a glimpse of you. And Larkin is currently on 5 out of 6, trying to make his way through a window with Jellybean acting as a kind of guard. So you're aware that Larkin is in the dressing room trying to get out at the moment. Jellybean, before any of that happens, is there anything you'd like to have done or do?
No. Other than I think just be ready to clear out as soon as.
Well, is everyone happy to clear out? You're aware that hell's just broken loose on the stage, and there's turmoil. But the people that saw you all fell through the trapdoors, so they're not going to be coming up anytime soon.
Can I spot my parents? Can I tell which ones they are?
Not anymore, no. You saw their surprised faces disappear.
So they went
southward.
down?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, that's fine then. I know I've got a bit of time to get home.
So, you all head into the dressing room. Wonderful. And you see Larkin there currently. Well, what are you doing, Larkin, trying to work this window open? What sorts of things would you be doing? What do they walk in on?
I think I got my trousers down now with my sort of long johns, and I'm heading towards the commode. I'm sorry, I can't do it. You just have to. And I'm going to the private room.
Okay, so you go to what my grandfather used to call the thinking room.
I'm going to do some thinking.
I'm going to make another fortune roll. This is for the strength. Okay, yeah. So you may be in there for upwards of 4 or 5 minutes. So you've gone into the dressing room. The Larkin may be up to 5 minutes. It's not pleasant. What do you want to do? The window is not being opened.
You try. Yeah, I mean, just go. I'll catch you up. Leave me.
I think at this point, Grimlyn would suggest that she'll try the window if somebody can bar the door to stop people getting in, should they come through.
Cool. So, how are you going to do the window, Grimlyn?
I'd like to use Wreck-It, but what I'm going to do is I'm assuming that they're like wooden frames and stuff, and basically I'm going to use sort of carpentry tools and big like mallets to try to basically kind of damage the edges of the window frame enough to basically pull the window out.
Brilliant. So yeah, tick off a box of load, and that puts you in a much better position. So yeah, roll your wreck, please, if that's what you wish to use.
Please be kind, dice.
A 6 and a 1. Yes. So with your 6, yes, it happens exactly as you want. You direct someone to bar the door. Who is going to bar the door? It's either going to be Vixen or Jellybean. It's not going to be Larkin. He's not coming out anytime soon. Do either of you have any ability to bar a door?
Might I suggest, Jellybean, that you perhaps stand out in front of it in your robes to persuade anybody that you're trying to escape after seeing a mad gunman?
Ooh, okay. We're going to fan the rumours of the gun. Okay.
Well, it comes to occur to me, as well as it being dangerous, if somebody's managed to sneak in with a gun, the snobby nobles won't actually want to come back where they can be shot.
Okay, yeah. I like it.
Brilliant. I love that idea. So, you go outside, Jellybean, and you notice the absolute chaos that's just erupting. Poor choice of words. So, the scenery finally falls, just as people are kind of, what's going on here? And some people are trying to sort of climb up out of the trapdoor. They found some ladders down there, and they're trying to get out. There's a snap, and the scenery, as well as a portion of the flies, falls down. That was the complication that happened. Some of the flies has gone with it, because one of the ropes that was cut was part of the flies. No one gets killed. A few concussions, maybe a few sore shoulders. No fatalities. But yes, the whole thing just and there's bits of scenery of sort of a nice lake, and there's some people under a stately home. Bits of everything everywhere now. Jellybean, you're fairly confident for the next 5 minutes, or given the amount of time it took for Larkin to be not feeling very well, you're all right to stand here and dissuade people, but you think very much everyone's going to be dissuaded in approximately 30 seconds.
Yeah. So I'll make sure they're persuaded away from me, preferably in any direction.
Yeah, give me a roll, please. What would you like to use to keep people away from you? As people can look at you and, could you help? Maybe come over here and help.
sway.
Yeah, give me a play roll
I'll
then,
use
please.
sway. And be like, there was a gunman. We all need to leave. I am absolutely not going back anywhere near anything. I'm
Okay.
on my way.
Give me a sway roll, please.
Another 6 and a 1.
The spectrum of time.
Very, very good. Yeah, people are just like, okay. Yeah, let's make our way. Let's make our way to the stage door then. To the stage door, everybody, when you can. There's a gunman here. Got to get out. Must get out. Must leave. Whilst all that's going on, Grimlyn, you are, you've basically taken the window out as safely as you can, leaving a frame and a drop of maybe about 5 feet down to street level. In theory, you could try and put the window back afterwards. It wouldn't be easy, but you could give it a go if you wanted to, or you could just leave the gaping hole. It's up to you, really.
I think it depends on how long Larkin is, because it's that balance between us getting away versus them coming out. And my priority is getting away, not not obscuring how we got out, because ultimately we want it to be ours, and I can just put the window back in a couple of days.
Cool. Yep.
It's Auntie Helen might like a window.
So,
She might want it bricked up. Who knows?
You yeah, that's fine then. So you take the window out, and Larkin, at this point, you are just finishing up. The 5 minutes has passed, and just as you are finishing up, Jellybean, the person that seemed to be leading with the goat on the goat skull on their head, is walking towards the stage door. They seem to be the first to. You notice no one is moving quickly, Jellybean, towards the stage door. They're all kind of now shuffling, and they're kind of starting to hold their stomachs. And one of them goes, I really don't feel very oh dear. Jellybean, you may now, should you wish to, given the cacophony, get into the dressing room. As the 1812 overture plays behind you. We fade to black on what's going on in the theatre, please. And we get into the dressing room, where you are absolutely certain, given what was going on out there, no one's going to be going anywhere for at least the next 5 to 10 minutes. And if you wish, you may leave via the window hole. So you all get outside. Where are you heading? Where are you dispersing into the night? Are you going home? I mean, Jellybean, you know your parents probably would be expecting you home when they got home. You know that they sometimes do pay a visit to you in the middle of the night or whatever. Where would you all go? We'll start with Jellybean. Oh, sorry, Larkin, you start. Where would you go?
We need to touch bases with the man on the outside, first and foremost, and then head back to our base, basically.
Yeah. Sark is waiting there with a carriage, with a very discreet carriage, not so far away, and he says, I take it the noise is coming from inside. Are they anything to do with you?
But yeah.
God, man, you stink.
You want to smell my trousers?
I don't. Well, I can't see your trousers.
No, I've just got my very long coat, and you can see that I'm not wearing anything underneath.
Go on. Good thing this carriage isn't mine. Sit on the roof. The back.
It's Grimlyn's fault.
I don't want to know. I don't. Just get in. Blimey.
I climb on the back of the carriage.
I can hear crying.
Grimlyn is definitely smiling.
You had a
Yes.
great night.
Possibly left. But yeah, Grimlyn's had the best night ever.
So he's going to take you wherever you want to go, back to your own lodgings if you want, wherever you want to be. It is late. It is very late at night now. So if you want to go back to Auntie Helen's, you can do that. The place where you've been using the base. If you want to go back to the shop where Auntie Helen's been staying, you can, but it is late at night, so there is a likelihood that it's probably going to be closed at the moment. It generally only opens during the daytime. So where are you going?
I'm going to go back to the base of operations.
Cool.
I
So you go back to Auntie Helen's.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That does have working plumbing.
And a hose.
It has an upstairs and a downstairs bathroom.
Very nice.
What about Vixen?
Vixen's also going to head back to Auntie Helen's. She has a portrait to move closer to the coffee table.
Lovely. And Grimlyn, where are you heading?
So I think Grimlyn would probably, knowing that they might have caught a look at her, she probably would go somewhere like a pub or something.
Yep.
Where like people are sufficiently drunk that they could potentially give her an alibi if needed.
Yep. I like that.
Especially good friends. It's a local.
Yeah.
And Jellybean, I'm assuming you're heading home.
Yeah, Jellybean's going to go home so that when the parents finally stagger in, traumatized, I'm like, I didn't do it.
So, time will pass. Grimlyn goes to the pub to get an alibi. Vixen goes back to Auntie Helen's. Larkin goes back to Auntie Helen's, but unfortunately has a rather unpleasant night.
Yeah, genuinely.
It kind of corrects itself. The world becomes right again at around about 5 a.m., by which point, well, there's no point in sleeping. At breakfast the next morning, Jellybean, your parents are at the dining table for breakfast. Your father looks like he has been scrubbed red raw. You notice your mother has had some kind of haircut or something, because her hair is currently obscured or by a wimple that she is wearing. Both of them.
How are we all this morning?
Neither of them are looking at each other. Neither of them want to look at you. Your father just mumbles a all right, yes, thank you. You notice that both of them are avoiding the red juice this morning. And I think actually that's probably quite a good place to leave it.
Absolutely.
Wow. What an adventure. So we'll deal with downtime a little bit later at some point in the future. But once again, you've achieved things I never thought possible. I am both happy and impressed and delighted and terrified with the way you handled tonight. It's been an absolute delight. Now, as usual, I'm absolutely happy with the way things went. I'm so happy with everyone's role playing. Loved it. So I want to say a massive thank you to all of you as players. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to say a big thank you to Andy for letting me do this. As usual, I just hope you really enjoyed it. And I'll now hand over to Andy.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, once again, amazing. So I want to say a big thank you, a round of applause for Kristian for game mastering. It has been a delight and a pleasure, both in and out of character. I kind of like doing this, which is sort of favourite bits. So we'll just have a quick go round table of your best memorable moments of tonight. We'll start off with you, Rachel.
Yep. I mean, I think everyone's going to probably have a similar thought, but we came together with a quite climactic end to their party, really. Like, I like the way we combined you guys' plan around how to deposit this laxative into the drink, while Vixen then fired at this bowl. Grimlyn then had fixed the trapdoor, and there was a demon being summoned, and then suddenly everyone was like, "Ooh!" and they're all gonna, have an unpleasant time as well. So I think, yeah, there was some good linked up funny moments to
Absolutely.
culminate in this.
Yeah, the whole thing was just absolutely amazing. How about you, Kyle?
I think for me, pretty hard to pick. It was just surprise after surprise after surprise. You think you're going in to deal with a ghost or some kind of creature, to find out it's the worst kind, posh snobs. And it has to be Jellybean's parents, where it's a demon summoning, like
Roller
it's one
coaster.
roller coaster.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Sarah, I mean, it's all your fault, obviously. What about your favourite moment?
I'd just like to take a moment to say sorry, not sorry. Genuinely had a really great time, and I think it all really worked together. I mean, it just the synchronization of how everything came together. I think it was just amazing. So that sort of climactic moment. It's really hard because there was lots of different things that happened, but it all kind of came together. And I think the fact that it all kind of came together and worked really well is kind of just loved it. I had a great time. Thank you, Kristian.
Excellent. Any standout moments for you, Kristian?
Well, I will say the moment everyone else has mentioned, when everything came together, I really enjoyed that, seeing the players working together. That made me really, really happy. But my second favorite, it's not a moment, my second favorite thing about tonight is that I had prepared things for every area of that theatre, and I had used none of them.
Yeah.
Because your plans went off so in a different direction from what I had thought. I thought, no, we're going to run with this. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
It's
So,
one of the beauties of Blades in the Dark, really. It's very improv, and
you never got to find out what was in the upper circle.
no.
And you never
Maybe.
will.
Well, you say that. Maybe another time, because hopefully you will come back. You will run more for us, and hopefully we've succeeded in our job. So we have the Apollo now. Once it's given a thorough clean.
Yes.
Yes.
For me, I just like rolling the 6 when I had disadvantage and snotting all over the help to discover that he had been fed upon. No, absolutely loved it. Thank you very, very much. If you have enjoyed watching it, please consider giving us a like and subscribe. It really helps out the stream, Twisted Narrative as a whole. But in the meantime, thank you very much, cast, players, game master, and anybody that has finally made it to the end. As time is running out and it is late and we've all got work tomorrow, so good night from me and cast.
Good night, everybody. Pleasant dreams.
Yeah, sleep well.